If you have life insurance through your job, that's a great start. But here's a question most people have never asked themselves. What does your policy actually cover? And is it enough? Today, I want to walk you through something that could change how you think about your financial protection. It won't take long, but what you learn might surprise you. We'll start by looking at the coverage gap, what most employer policies leave out. Then we'll talk about the hidden risk that almost nobody plans for. After that, I'll introduce you to the solution, we'll look at the math side by side, and finally, we'll talk about what your next step looks like. Let's get into it. Most people who have life insurance through work think they're covered, and technically, they are. But here's the reality. The typical employer life insurance policy pays out 1 to 2 times your annual salary. So if you make $60,000 a year, you're looking at a payout somewhere between $60,000 and $120,000. Now, let's hold that number up against what your family would actually need. The average mortgage balance in the US is over $200,000. If you have kids, raising one child to adulthood costs over $300,000. Household debt adds another $100,000 on average. And that's before we talk about replacing your income, because your family still needs to eat, pay bills, and keep the lights on while they're grieving. When you add it up, most families need somewhere north of $900,000 in coverage. Your employer policy? $60,000 to $120,000. That's the gap. And most people have no idea it exists. But here's what I really want you to sit with for a moment. Because this is the part that catches almost everyone off guard. Most life insurance only pays out when you die. But what happens if you get seriously ill and can't work while you're still alive? 1 in 4 workers will become disabled before they reach retirement age. The average disability leave from a critical illness, think cancer, heart attack, stroke, is 6 months. 6 months with no income, mounting medical bills, and a mortgage that doesn't care how sick you are. And your employer life policy? It pays out 0 because you're still alive. Think about that for a second. You get diagnosed with cancer at 47. You can't work for 8 months. Your family is doing everything they can to support you through treatment. And the policy you've been counting on does nothing because it was only designed to pay when you're gone. That's not protection. That's a false sense of security. So what's the answer? It's called life insurance with living benefits. And it changes everything. Here's the concept. Instead of your death benefit only paying out when you pass away, living benefits allow you to access a portion of that benefit while you're still alive, if you're diagnosed with a qualifying illness. There are 3 types of qualifying events. The first is a terminal illness. If you're diagnosed with a condition expected to result in death within 12 to 24 months, you can access your benefit immediately. The second is a critical illness. This includes major diagnoses like cancer, heart attack, stroke, or kidney failure, conditions that change your life overnight. And the third is a chronic illness. If you're unable to perform basic daily activities, or you experience cognitive impairment, your benefits can be triggered here too. The best part? These benefits are built right into the policy. There's no separate rider to purchase, no extra premium for a standalone policy. One policy covering both death and life. Let me put this side by side so you can see the difference clearly. Your employer group policy gives you a death benefit of roughly 1 to 2 times your salary. It's not portable, meaning if you leave your job, it's gone. It doesn't cover living illness events. The amount is fixed by your employer and you can't adjust it. A private policy with living benefits? You choose the coverage amount, anywhere from $250,000 to over $1 million. It goes with you no matter where you work. It covers living illness events. The amount is flexible, and it stays with you for life. Now here's the question I always get. How much more does that cost? For a healthy adult in their 30s or 40s, we're often talking $30 to $80 a month. That's less than most people spend on a gym membership. I want to take a second and address the questions I hear most often, because chances are at least one of these sounds familiar. One common one is, I already have coverage through work. That's great, and I'm not here to replace it. I'm here to supplement it, because group coverage typically disappears the moment you change jobs, and it rarely covers enough. Private coverage fills that gap and travels with you. Another common one is, I can't afford another policy. This is the one that surprises people the most. Most clients I talk to assume this will be expensive. Then they see the quote and realize it's less than they spend on streaming services every month. One policy doing the work of several is actually the cost-efficient move. I frequently hear, I'll just use my savings if something happens. I hear this a lot, and I respect the instinct to be self-reliant. But a serious illness lasting 6 to 8 months can drain years of savings on it fast. Living benefits exist precisely so you don't have to make that choice. Also common is, I'm healthy right now. I'll think about it later. This one I want you to really hear. The time to get coverage is before you need it. Once you receive a diagnosis, the window to qualify often closes. Your health today is your greatest asset when it comes to locking in the best rates and coverage options. Later has a cost, so here's where we go from here. And I promise, this part is simple. Step 1. We start with a brief health questionnaire. It takes about 10 minutes and gives us a clear picture of what you qualify for. Step 2. I put together personalized coverage options and quotes based on your situation, your age, your income, your family, your goals. Step 3. You choose the coverage amount and any additional features that make sense for you. No pressure, no rush. And Step 4. We submit your application. Coverage can often begin quickly and sometimes within days. If what I've shared today resonated with you, if you've been carrying that quiet worry about what would happen to your family if something happened to you, I want to invite you to take the next step. Send us a message, book a call, even just ask a question. There's no pitch, no pressure. Just a real conversation about where you stand and what your options are. Because the best time to get protected is before you need it.